Hey, it's Jag. Today I'm unboxing the winter build. Happy New Year! When I started shooting YouTube content, the first thing I shot was the Trinity Amps Triwatt build. I started that in the middle of January 2021. I really had no idea what I was doing, really flying by the seat of my pants like I often do. And it's really interesting to go back and watch those videos and see sort of the progression in things in terms of audio, lighting, cameras, etc. In the year, basically, since I've started doing that, I've learned a lot and still learning a lot. I have a long way still to go. But I'm pretty happy with where things have been. But that first Trinity Amps Triwatt build, like I say, I didn't really have a plan or know what I was doing. I was just kind of flying into it as it went. And it ended up taking me a long time to shoot and a lot of videos. What I want to do with this series is make it more concise, starting with this unboxing. I would like to try and keep the episodes to somewhere between 20 to 25 minutes, maybe as short as 15. I don't want to go longer than half an hour for sure, but I'd really ideally like to keep all the episodes to 20 minutes. I'm not going to take as many side trips into other aspects of what I'm doing or explaining a lot of what I'm doing. It will be a lot more, here's what we're doing, here's what we're doing today, and I'll just get right to the work, and really only sort of stop for things that are sort of important to discuss. I'll do a little bit of a description of what I'm doing before I start doing it, but then probably not a whole lot of talking. All that said, let's get to the unboxing. This winter build is a Trinity Amps 18 watt Plexi. Trinity has several versions of the Plexi that they offer, and I picked this specific one for its features. We'll go into that a little later after I unbox this. Right now I just want to sort of show you what comes in the kit and how well it's packed. I did custom order special appointments. So I'm keeping that for the big reveal. I'm not going to show you the cabinet until the amp is done and ready for testing. You won't see the cabinet here, but there is one. All right, let's see how well it's packed. Trinity, the Triwatt was packed very, very well. Seems like this is packed very well. Feels very solid. Typical what I expect from Trinity. It's very well packed. And as I said, I'm not going to show the cabinet right now, so this is what you're going to see of the cabinet. It's wrapped in foam. Alright, so let's just lift the chassis off. We'll go through that first. As usual, everything pre-cut, labeled on the back and the front, and you'll see the faceplate. A little bit of a tip to the originator, Marshall style gold Plexi front, all labeled and cut as well. As is Trinity's custom, it is just taped to the front right now. You want to be careful with these faceplates. If you abuse them, they will crack and break. So I like having it just sitting on the chassis. I think I'm getting a little hint from Steven. If you recall, on the Triwatt build, I used one of my Mollerup Ampworks badges on the front of the cabinet. And here I have, looks like there are two really nice Trinity Amps badges. So I definitely will be using those. I will probably put the Trinity Amps badge and a Mollerup Ampworks badge on the front because I always customize my amps. So there will be some Mollerup circuitry in there as well. Turret board construction again. The turrets are really nice to work on. Packaged with all of the tube sockets and tube shields. We have a package full of the capacitors, cap, cannon, electrolytics, and Mallory caps again. Switches, selector switch, pilot lamp, fuse holder, essentially the back panel components, and some terminal strips, which will go inside. Oh, nice. Okay, package of pots and knobs, and they are the gold Marshall style. Package of resistors, mounting screws, input-output jacks. They give you all of the wire and heat shrink tubing you need to build the kit. Everything comes with the kit except the tubes. I like choosing my own. Tubes are a very personal choice for musicians, so I know what I would like to use for tubes in here, and I'm glad they didn't provide tubes that I may or may not use. Last of the small things, the IEC power cable. Documentation is in there. Oh, and some Trinity stickers. The transformers, and I know in the Triwatt they are custom wound hay bore transformers. They are built to Trinity specs. I'm not sure if these are hay bores or not, but I'm sure they're very good quality, knowing Trinity. So we'll open this one and guess whether this is the power transformer or the output transformer. I'm going to guess that it's the output transformer. Yep, output transformer, custom wound for Trinity, 8K, 5K primaries. So output transformer, fairly hefty. It's an 18 watts, so not a massive big output transformer. You don't need something massive. And last piece to unwrap, and this will definitely be the power transformer. Good solid chunk of iron in here. This is really nice on both the output transformer and the power transformer. They now are having their transformers made with the Trinity Amps logo on them. I think that's really cool. So that's everything that comes with the kit. We'll just take a quick look at the documentation now. So as with the Triwatt, some of Steven's business cards, and a Trinity Amps made to be played sticker, which is great. I have a ton of stickers and I like to put them on my road cases. Don't we all? I'm doing this all out of pocket. I'm not sponsored by Trinity Amps, or I didn't get a discount or any deal. This is I paid the same as you pay. Paying for this out of my own pocket leaves me free to be unbiased. So yeah, this is an unsponsored video. So your documentation comes, the Trinity Amps 18 watt amp builder's guide. This is also available online, so if you go to trinityamps.com and you go to their support site, you can download schematics, the builder's guides for all of their amps, so you can get a look at them and get an idea of how involved they are to build. You can look at the schematic, and if you know what you're looking at, you can get a rough idea how you think it's going to sound, or how easy it would be to modify if you want to modify it. So I really appreciate that, particularly for the 18 watt Plexi. Like I say, there are several different versions, and I took about a week just looking at schematics and trying to decide which version I wanted. I may have to look up which one I wanted, because my memory fails me on that right now. So the table of contents is great. They have they really cover the process beginning to end. I wouldn't say exactly step by step. It is, but if you are new to building amps, there are some things you will need to figure out. You will learn, but it's not too difficult to follow. So you get a pretty good package of the build documents, and they do a good job of describing what you need to do. In particular, the when you get close to completing the amp, the power-up test procedures that they go through here are really good, and follow them. Even if you've been building amps, like I say, I've been building amps for years. When I started working in electronics, there weren't such things as amp kits. You had to source all the parts and figure out how to build it yourself and put it together. And the one thing I never really actually thought a whole lot about was your power-up sequence when you're finished building to test an amp. I've always been lucky. I've never had an amp that didn't work the first time I fired it up. But if you have wired something wrong, you can really do a lot of damage, not only to yourself, which is another thing to point out. If you're not comfortable working with electronics, maybe you want to have a tech build your kit. there are very high, very dangerous voltages in a tube amplifier that can be lethal. So you need to be careful about that. And what I was saying about building, even if you just blindly build the whole amp and just assume you've done everything correctly, and you're done, you've wired it up, you put the tubes in, you connect the speaker and everything, and you fire it up, the first thing that could happen is the amp could smoke and blow up. So the startup procedures and testing procedures that are laid out here are really great. They minimize the potential for damage if you've done some miswiring. You don't fire up the amp with the transformer and power supply fully connected until you test that your voltages are correct. Then you connect those, you check that you have the right voltages at the right points throughout the board, and then you put the tubes in and you check your voltages again. So you've got several stages in the startup procedure, and they are really well thought out and really minimize the potential for damage if you've wired something wrong. So as I said, there are several versions of the 18-watt Plexi kit on the Trinity Amps site. The version I got is the Custom Plexi. So I'm just going to run down. I took a minute to get the main points of the differences between the kits. There are 5 listed on their site right now. So the first one is the S3, which is based on the early Plexi JTM 45 style amp, that sort of tone. That amp is powered with 2 EL84 output tubes, EZ81 rectifier. The next version, the second version, is the Plexi Mark II. That's based on the Plexi Super Lead with brown components, probably a tip of the hat to what they were going for there. They say the amp is good for crunchy AC/DC style tones. Again, 2 EL84 output tubes and EZ81. The TMB is the high gain version of that early Plexi. It's good for 80s style ZZ Top tones, they say. So a much gainier version of the 18-watt Plexi. Again, 2 EL84s and 6 CA4 EZ81 rectifier. The Custom Plexi, which is the one I have, is a 6v6 powered version of the Marshall 1959 Super Lead Plexi. I went for it because I like 6v6 output tubes. I like the way they sound. And this particular amp, I also like the fact that it runs a 5AR4 or octal based solid state rectifier, so you can really tighten it up with that solid state rectifier in there, and that was the main feature that convinced me on this one. And they've got a new one that they listed. I knew it was coming out when I ordered this Plexi, and I was tempted to do the new one. I decided that I would wait. I really want something that's more sort of traditional Plexi sounding. The new one is called the Thor, and it's a candidate for my winter build 2022-2023. And that's a 20-watt fixed bias version. It's based on the JCM 82203 style. So has, I imagine it has a diode clipper circuit in there and some other things to make it a lot more high gain. And that one also runs 6v6 with a 5AR4 rectifier, or you can run the octal based solid state rectifier, and it has a choke. So it will be a much tighter amp, a much tighter sounding amp in the bottom end. And being that it's based on the JCM 800, it'll probably be quite gainy. So again, what I'm building is the Custom Plexi. And I'm really looking forward to this build. That's the unboxing of my winter 2021-2022 amp build, the Trinity Amps 18-watt Plexi kit. Like I say, the cabinet, I'm saving that for when the amp is done and just before we fire it up for sound tests. I just am really excited. It's a fantastic looking cabinet, just like the one for the Triwatt was, and their build quality on their cabinets is really, really awesome. So again, another very exciting kit I'm really looking forward to building from Stephen at Trinity Amps, the 18 watt Plexi. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Not really much to teach in this one, so primarily an entertainment video today. As always, please like and subscribe, leave a comment. I do read comments and answer. All of those things do help get my video viewed more, and I would really appreciate that help. Check out my band, One Soul Thrust. The links are in the description below, and we'll see you in the next video.